Special call meeting at the grocery store. Before we get started, we'll ask Kevin, if he will, to lead us in prayer.
Dear Lord, we thank you, Father, for this day. We thank you for the blessings of life you give us, Lord. And we thank you for being so very good to us. And Father, we thank you for our town and our community, Lord. And as we meet together tonight, I pray that you just give us wisdom and knowledge and courage and strength to make right decisions, Lord. Just lead us and guide us. And Father, I pray that you just help us to be the community you'd have us to be. May we honor you in all we say and do. And help us to seek you for leadership and guidance in every area of our lives. Lord, now just go with us. Help this be a great meeting, and may we give you the praise, honor, and glory. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As y'all know, the owner of the market, Mr. Wally Kemp, he is getting out of the business. He's either going to sell out or close the store. So we have been looking for ways to keep it open. We definitely don't want to lose it. And so that's what this meeting will be about tonight. Following the agenda, item number 1, I need a motion to call the meeting to order.
Motion. Second.
John, Tabby, all in favor?
Aye.
Everybody. All right, item number 2, need a motion and a second to cover only what's on the agenda.
Make a motion.
Kevin? Second?
Second.
Darren? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Item number 3, topics to discuss. New business. We have 2 guests with us tonight. Philip Bozeman and Chris Bozeman of Bozeman Groceries, and they just want to introduce themselves, tell a little bit about them, and answer any questions that they can. So we'll turn it over to
Okay, well, my name's Philip Bozeman, and this is my brother Chris. We have, which I made some copies of these for the council. I didn't realize I was going to be dangling the lines then. I thought it was just going to be for the council. So anyway, I kind of feel like it right now.
I was there not too long ago.
Do what?
I was there not too long ago.
Kind of feel like it at this point, but anyway. So I'll just kind of, this is something that I just typed up, and just a brief summary of who we are and, and how long we've been in business. I started working at the Piggly Wiggly Berry when I was 15 years old. And I worked there in the grocery, in and out of the grocery business till I was about 32 years old. And when I was 32, Mark, my brother Mark, he's not here tonight, but he's one of the partners. My brother Mark and I bought our first store in Summerton, Alabama. And we opened that store up and ran that store until '98, and we was able to buy another store, which is Sun Supermarket in Cordova. We bought that store in '98, and then in the year of 2011, I think when the tornado hit, we were in the process of opening another store in Dora, and we had a strip mall we were working on, and redoing the floors and getting it kind of ready to open our third location. And then the tornado blew us all away at the same time it got y'all here, and y'all know how that was. It was very devastating there. So there was an empty Food World building that had been empty since 1999 that we were able to purchase and to be able to get back in business quicker. It was the quickest route for us to get back in business instead of building this, shop, the strip mall. So we bought it and opened it exactly a year later from the tornado. We was able to open that store, and so we've been in business there, at
March 2012.
Yeah, March 2012. We opened up. Actually, less than a year. So we've been in business there since, and then we had about 2013, I believe it was. We had met with the city of Cordova during their rebuilding process, and we signed a commitment letter that we would build back the store down there in Cordova. And so when the time came, it was November 2014, we were able to open it back up. So we opened it up and fulfilling our commitment there, you know, and we still in business there today. 2015 or 16, I have to look at my notes here, we bought Piggly Wiggly and Berry. And I have brothers in all these stores now. I didn't mention all that. But my brother Micah, have a big family. First of all, there's 9 of us kids, okay? I've been at 9 kids. So my youngest brother Micah, he was with us at the Dora store also. He went to work. He took the Berry store. So he's been there ever since, you know. And then my son Wesley runs the Cordova store. Chris runs the Dora store. But, you know, if we, you know, come to an agreement and we're able to, to buy this store or at least whatever the deal will be, Chris will be running this store up here. So that's just kind of a brief summary of, you know, I've been in the retail for 43 years. I know I don't look that old, but I am. Chris, my brother Mark's 38 years experience. Chris has been in it for 33 years. Mike is 28 years, and my son is 23 years. So we've been doing it a long time. So we're just a family that's what we do. So any questions, I'll let Chris answer.
Do you still have the copy for each council?
I do, yes.
Can you give us?
Yeah, I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know really what to, but I got plenty of these, so I just,
Philip, a lot of times you hear about the margins being so tight in the grocery business, and can you give y'all's perspective on what are they saying there? I mean, what?
well, national average and like statistics, you can look them up on the Alabama Grocery Association website. This public knowledge, you know, the FMI website or the NGA website. And you normally, the average grocery store, he will operate off of a net profit of less than 1%. So it's not, you know, it's pretty slim. That's why you need to do volume. I mean, you got to sell a lot of beans, you know.
And each, y'all own 4 stores right now.
Right.
And when you went into each store, y'all grew them.
Oh, yeah.
Grew the sales in each one.
Yeah, the first one we opened up in 1993. It was a little small store. It was only 4,500 square feet selling area. It was a little small, you know. And we have actually grew it about 80%, you know, which was really couldn't happen anywhere, just this particular location, you know. And didn't have a lot of inventory. We put a lot of inventory in it. And my brother Mark and my brother Chris, they both are certified meat cutters also too. So when we first started, Mark did the meat and I ran the store. So we had both worked for independents, you know. So we just took, you know, what we learned over the years and just went to work for ourselves, you know. So we grew it, you know, and of course Cordova, we probably increased Cordova by 60% when we first went in there, you know. But you know, in fair to, you know, being fair, there were stores that had been just let go and run down too, you know.
Right.
You know, it just needed somebody to come in and have a little care about them, clean them up, you know. And I mean, I got pictures. It's just unreal that when you take something, you know, and clean it up and make it just a world of difference, you know, clean it up, make it look good. And that's what we try to do. We try to run good, clean stores, you know, and well-lit stores and those type of things. And to me, that's important, you know. And then the Berry store, you know, since 2016, I think we've increased it 17-18%. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot in the grocery business.
Well, and another thing too, on that, even the Dora store has been increasing every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we hadn't planed out there either, you know, so, you know, we're throw that in there.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna imagine you probably see room for growth here if you were to come here.
That's right. Well, the trade area says, the trade area, the survey that was been ran, the trade area, which it stretches on out. I got a map, that y'all probably got these, but I'll hand you one of these out. It says there's $212,000 in the trade area, which goes on up, let's just fill Campbell here, so it kind of get it big and it includes Hodges and Brown, so, I don't know how they get the trade area. You can pass those out. But it says there's $212,000 of, real business in this area, and your national average or statistics will say that you will get about 35% of that at best, okay? And at 35% of that is $74,200 a week, in grocery sales. And of course there are room for growth. If you get a store and you're averaging around 50, whatever, 52, I don't know I don't exactly know the average because the restaurant's involved, so we're not sure yet. Darryl probably could speak on that if he was at liberty to, more, than, not Darryl, but Dennis. But there are room for growth.
Which option do y'all like the best?
Well, the only one that'll work is option 3. It won't cash flow any other way. Those are just some things this is the deals we started out with. And I wanted to just kind of lay those out, The very first, now the option 1 was just what Wally wanted, okay? That wasn't what we agreed to. It just, option 2 was what we were gonna be able to do, And option 2, the latter part of that option 2 will cash flow. The first part won't.
Option 3 says in this, City of Hackleburg purchased building at $500,000. We already own the building, so we wouldn't have to purchase it.
Well, no,
You would be purchasing.
yeah, well, purchase a business, you're right.
Yeah, we already own it, so
Yes,
that's
yes,
not
ma'am.
part of that statement.
Yes, ma'am.
Plus inventory.
That's
We
right.
don't own the inventory.
Or the equipment,
So that statement's wrong in that
nor
whole
the equipment,
option.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
they-
you can't
they know
even,
that.
you can't even look at that either, because in that statement it says that.
Yeah,
They
that
know
was-
that. The
Okay.
business is what they're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, the equipment, let me go ahead and just clarify that then. The equipment and the inventory. Yeah.
Can you kind of speak on why option 1 and 2 won't work?
Well, you just can't make, it's just like buying a house. Based on your salary, you just want a cash flow. You can't pay for it. There's just no way. It just won't, it's just based on volumes. If this store was, if you're doing $150,000 a week, then it's totally different, But you gotta take what you're doing, You gotta take what business you're doing and you gotta manage yourself into a profit. You just have to. We're in a similar situation at Cordova, okay? We've been in the same situation that Wally's in, since 2014. So we know what he's going through.
Exactly.
We know everything he's going through. And what he's going through is he can't make it. He's not gonna make it. He's just not. He's already said he's not going to,
Well, And, I think maybe some perception is Wally just wants to get out, but that's not the case.
Well, there's one big reason he wants to get out, it's the bottom line.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the motivating factor.
A successful businessman in other areas, and we've showed that we've been successful in other areas too. If we have a chance, we can be successful. But we have to have a chance to be successful, and we're not willing to get into, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta look at it that way. It's just the numbers, it's a numbers thing. It's got to be where you can make it.
If we all agree to this, could we work out some kind of deal for a certain amount of years, or the building comes back to the town? Y'all would be open a certain amount of years?
Well, the way I understood that is for the term of the lease, it's for the term of the 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, we wouldn't take
We've done that
anything.
deal.
Well, you just answered my question.
Yeah, we're not asking for something or nothing.
I don't. You're only borrowing $650,000, which is the contents of that building is $2.8 million. Wally's payment should have been $484,000 to the town of Hackleburg, which did not happen. $24,000 of it was paid to the town of Hackleburg. He came back in 2017 and asked us to reduce that to $10 a month. So the value of the building is not getting paid to the town of Hackleburg. So that is not a true statement.
Well, how
So
much is
you're
how much is
acquiring-
it gonna be worth if it closes?
I understand that.
It's gonna be,
I
a
understand
what you're
that,
going to
but it's
understand.
still an asset of $2.8 million for the town of
Sure.
Hackleburg.
but it's gonna be a liability.
I understand that. But it's still an asset for the town.
Sure it is. But it's worth $10 if you don't have a store. Look, you know, it's, you know, this looks like, if you're looking, this looks like a great deal for us, okay? But on our end, it don't look like a great deal for us. We gotta put 20 years of hard work in it. It looks like a fair deal, a workable deal, you know, a deal that we can actually make work. But it's not, you know, it's not something that's just gonna be handed to you. You know, I mean, if you think it'd be handed to you, you know, you can give that deal to anybody in here. I mean, you can, just get it and go, you know. You know, Darryl and I talked today, you know, look, we're busy, we work all the time. We work every day. And we're gonna go back home, we're gonna go to work tomorrow. You know, this is a, you know, a workable deal, and it's all about cash flow. You know, if it cash flow, that $650,000 number, that's really, you can think, it could be $850,000 if it cash flows, because you got 20 years to do it. It's like a house payment, anything else you get. It's gotta work, you know.
Well,
What about if it don't work? Where is the town of Hackleburg if it don't work?
Well, it ain't working now. And I know,
agree.
yeah, and I know where you're gonna be if it
Possibility
doesn't.
might not
right?
work in the future too.
Well, if I thought that, I wouldn't be up here.
Well,
I really believe that, I will tell you that.
We
You
gotta,
know.
we just need to
Mhm.
see it's gotta be a win-win-win for everybody,
Exactly.
where it's not gonna work,
I agree with you.
so.
Well,
And
yeah,
option number 3, the town did all the rest, correct? We got the building, the only.
Well, I don't know, we're bringing about $100,000 up here of working capital we gotta put in the bank
that,
and go to work.
Well,
I mean, so,
what about what's done in the store? If the town might, what are you talking about, working capital, money in the
we
bank?
gotta have money in the bank, yeah,
Boy,
work, we gotta have money in the bank though, you know,
like
you
you
just
That's
say
said,
overhead.
that.
workman's
That's overhead.
comp, the whole insurance, utilities.
Yeah, you gotta start out with it, you know, with insurance, and I mean, it's gonna take a lot of money.
So
to
if we
start.
go with option 3, and say y'all, 2 years down the road, you find yourself in the same position Wally's in, y'all walk out and we're stuck with
Well-
$700,000 worth of debt plus the bill.
The
Well,
building would cover the debt, would it not?
No,
No,
because the
building
building's
comes
paid for, it will
Building
not.
comes back to us.
Here's what you're gonna get into, right now, hold on,
Building-
Water, our tax revenue off of that store is averaging $60,000 a year, okay?
63,800.
On average,
Closer to 65.
okay? So that means he's giving the town money, and he's making money out there.
Mhm.
He's not meeting his net profit that he wants to make, bottom line.
That he
He's
has to
losing
make.
That I know.
Not that he
I know.
wants, he has to.
So here it is, we're making $63,000 in here. If we take this risk, and this falls under, that's $63,000 that we're already gonna lose anyway, plus a payment for 20 years of $4,300. So that's $10,000 if you average that out. That's gonna be about $10,000 a month that the town of Hackleburg is gonna have to consume.
right.
Which our only option to consume that would be to raise taxes. Because that business would be under, that's bottom line.
Yeah.
That's business.
Well, you know, I can tell you this, and out of all due respect for the council, that's the only deal that we're willing to do. We can't do it any other way. It just won't cash flow. It has nothing to do with wanting to be here, because we want to be here. We would. I've probably come 5 trips up here, I guess, in met with Darryl. You know, we want to be here, you know, and but that's the only. I mean, I tell you what. I mean, you can take those figures to anybody. You can call any grocery warehouse. I mean, I'll give you numbers of 2 we buy from. You can talk to AWG, AG, Piggly Wiggly, any grocer, any grocer that you have confidence in. Call any grocer you want and just run the numbers by it. And just, you know, you don't have to take my word for it. Just run the numbers by me. That's all I can tell you to do. And just say, hey, I need some information.
When you opened the store that you redone, I think it was in Summerton, where you said you redone the floors and stuff.
Well, we were working on a strip mall. But, you know, when the tornado hit, you know, we had 2 stores operating. When the tornado hit, it blew Cordova away completely. We lost it all right then. Well, Food World building was sitting here empty since 1999. A nice building. It was a nice building. You know, they're big buildings, you know.
What was inside the building?
What was inside the building was pretty much tile floor.
So you had to come in and put
I
equipment
put
in?
equipment,
Okay.
copper, electrical. We'd redone the electrical. We'd done it all.
Used equipment or new?
We bought reconditioned.
Right. 'cause
We
it's
never
cheaper to
buy,
do
we
that.
never buy that, yeah.
Well, that's not our choice because Wally's doing it on the sound. So my question to you is, if it's reconditioned, this equipment's 5 years old, and the cost value on that equipment is depreciated, because you can only depreciate equipment for 7 years on your balance sheet. So here we are, you want us to buy equipment for 20-year term, which is basically the equipment in that bottom, in that building, which will not depreciate out for us. So I'm losing it here saying, how is this good for the town of Hackleburg?
Well, I can tell you how I think it's good, because the store's gonna close unless you get somebody like us to come up here and do it.
Well, let me
That's
ask
the
you
only
this, hold
option
on.
to make.
Let's say if the store did close, it's still a $2.8 million building.
It's not.
He takes
2.8.
all the equipment out of it, it's still valued at that. You come in here and you put your own equipment in here, what's the difference?
If you appraise.
Well, I
that
tell you,
building-
one difference is when that store goes dark, well, first of all, if that, say Wally auctioned off the equipment today and he sold it all out, okay? And we had to put together a store, it's probably gonna take at least 9 months to a year to get equipment bought, get it reconditioned, get it put in, and you've lost a year of every customer in here. How many people have shopped here locally? Okay, these people are leaving town for 12 months, and they're going to other places. You know what? It's hard. We're creatures of habit. If you don't believe it, think about when you get up and go to work. Think about when you get up and go to your work or your vacation. Even if I go to Panama City, it's the same place. I stop at the same place. It's almost every time to gas up. We're creatures of habit. And it's hard to change that. I'm telling you, it's very hard to change that.
We lived,
And
okay,
where you at
that's
right
true,
now?
that's true, we lived through the tornado.
Right, and
We
you know
had
what?
to go to another place.
And there's people
and
had
then
to
we
come
came
back. But everybody
We
had to
came
come back.
We all came back.
Everybody had came back based on the numbers.
Is the numbers,
Yeah, but are y'all gonna be able to get the
That's
prices
because the
competitive
town of
where they're
Hackleburg
coming?
didn't
That's
have
why they
homes
didn't come
anymore,
back.
so why did we lose those?
That's what I'm
What's our
saying.
population now?
Well, I'm just saying, based on the
How many
numbers,
people was here before the tornado?
16.
Okay, we lost 400 people.
well, based
We
on,
don't know that for a fact.
but I'm talking about based on the numbers, I'm talking about based on the numbers of shopping. I don't have no idea about the cent. I'm talking about the numbers of business, when the store blew away, and now the numbers have not come back. And so a lot of those, I think, were creatures of habit, were people that started going maybe to Walmart or to Piggly Wiggly in Hackleburg or Phil Campbell or wherever, and they've just stayed there because they like it. There's a nice stores, you know, and I think it's creatures of habit. We just get used to going, and I think that does. Well, look, we suffered the exact same thing in Cordova. We were doing $85,000 to $90,000 a week in Cordova, 85 to 90 a week. We stayed closed 2 years. We're averaging 44 a week right now. Same people, same family, everything. It just now they lost they lost some homes too.
What
But
scares me is you either growing or you die. If that store closes, it may never open again.
Well, based on numbers, I don't think. Well, first of all, look, based on numbers, if that store is empty, why would anybody come in here and invest that kind of money? Because you look at option number 2. An average loan, I can get the money from Regions for 10 years, okay? But it doesn't cash flow. I can get it. It doesn't cash flow. They're gonna loan 10 years on equipment the most. They will loan 10 years on that equipment. I didn't talk to Region. But AWG will loan 7 years on it. They'll loan 5 years on inventory. When an SBA might, in a situation like this, you know, it's not on there, but I did talk to them. You know, they don't want the store to close. They're kind of committed to, you know, they were involved from the beginning, the government was. So they would do, you know, a little longer on that equipment, but they'll probably never do more than 5 years on inventory. And they will do a little money on operating. They will actually loan you operating money.
Well, what is y'all's business plan to change what he was doing to bring the customers back or to increase buyers?
Well, one thing we do, you know,
That's the main thing.
we buy in bulk, you know,
Right.
and we cross stock a lot. We buy through their warehouses now. And, you know, they just a lot of things that, you know, and I don't know why Wally didn't do it. I don't know, he might not know, but a lot of things you might gotta buy seasonal items, you know, and you gotta keep prices down. You know, you gotta know there's certain staple items, you just gotta keep the price down, whatever it is. You just gotta keep it, you may lose money on them, density, right, Dennis? You just keep certain staple items, no matter, you just keep, you know, and you have to know that, you gotta know your market, you gotta, and those staple items are pretty much the same across the board.
Tabby, what would you say we would be out of month from all that?
Part of this, what you've got written down right here? The 60.
If it were to
If
go
you
back-
borrowed $650,000, that's a $4,000 a month payment for 20 years, the town of Hackleburg, is what that payment would be. Now then, you're assuming that they stay in business for 20 years. You're also giving them a $2.8 million building, because that's what it says in this, for $650,000.
Well,
And then we're
And 20
buying,
years of hard labor, don't forget
and
that.
then we're buying
That's worth something.
the inventory, which will not depreciate out.
the
How
grant,
much did the building cost
the
us?
grant was 2.8 million.
It didn't cost the town of Hackleburg anything, that's correct.
If they come in and appraise it, if they
It did.
appraise it today, it will not appraise for $2.8 million.
I'm just going off what figures you told me.
It'll appraise less close, it'll appraise more with something in
I'm
it.
just going off
That's
what
for sure.
figures you gave me.
Where did the money come from, taxpayers, that bought
Yes.
the building?
Yes.
Where does any money come from, grant money?
Well, we keep saying it didn't
But
cost the town.
the
nothing.
money that
They
would have been
tax-
coming back to the town of
taxpayers.
Ask
Hackleburg,
you what anybody else would, same thing with Fort Worth, same thing. Anybody that got.
Everybody in this room is taxpayer.
the money that would have been coming back, Eugene, the money that would have been coming back to town of Hackleburg for the payment from Wally, not counting the tax revenue, would have been $484,000. That would have paved a lot of roads, he had done a lot of stuff.
But he couldn't do
But he
it,
couldn't,
Tabby.
he done it for 2 years, Yeah,
he lost
Then he
money.
came to us, that's business, Darryl, people's gonna lose.
Yeah, when you
But
lose,
that's
you get
business.
out.
That's right.
So you
Now
got
then,
out.
okay, you said he got out.
Right.
Now then, that's the
Y'all
risk.
start pointing, y'all
That's
gonna
the
make me mad in a
risk.
minute.
No, that's a risk. That's all I'm talking about, is the risk. It's a 20-year risk.
It is.
On what y'all were talking about down here a while ago about the monthly payment, if something happened where, just say, did something happen, they couldn't keep it going.
Yeah.
Okay. What we're looking at then, the biggest threat I see out of all this is the $650,000 that was borrowed. There's gonna be a note to have to pay. Okay, if this contract's drawn up to where that store and land all comes back to us where it can be sold or whatever to do with, to make up for the $650,000, there's no, it's covered. We're not putting the people or the taxpayers or anything like that in a big, heavy burden of any kind of problem.
They've just said that if they don't come here, that nobody else will. So if you have Wally that goes out of business, they go
Well, I
out
didn't
of
say
business,
nobody
they
would, I
don't
said if
make
it
it.
goes dark.
They don't make it either. That's 2 companies that's went out of business. That's still where we've got to consume that money.
Right.
So you gotta consume it until you get somebody back in. So how can the town sustain that? It's talking about sustainability for a 20-year period. This is not overnight.
I would say if they're here for 2 years, they're probably here for, they're gonna be here.
We thought the other on the other too.
It's gonna make it, I mean, and there's a difference also, Tabby, by talking to these grocery people. That's their life, that's what they do. They know the grocery business inside and out. And I don't think they would.
I'm not doubting what they know. I'm concerned about this option 3 is affecting the risk strictly of this town. Option 3 is, option 2 is a better option, if you look at it.
Darryl, would it be better to take this up at another time? I mean, let's go forward with it and get back to the
Well,
rules.
I just want to say, you have the risk of losing what you have compared to maybe never missing a payment and it being paid for. So which one do you want to do?
In a
Do you want to
grocery
lose
store in
it?
Hackleburg,
Right.
but you gotta add.
Or do you want to take this 10?
One more option, that it could go out of business. We could be paying this money.
Yeah, that's
for
the
about
risk.
$1 million
20
supposed to be stuff.
20 years. So you've gotta, it's gotta be a win-win-win for everybody. I don't think there's enough skin in the game for these guys. I just don't.
What do you want?
But,
What do you think I should do? What would you be willing to do?
I'd be
Mr. Grocery
willing
Man?
to lease it to you for, or rent it to you for $100 a month for 15 years, and at the end of 15 years, give it to you.
But and they cannot stretch their financing out to the terms to
I
meet
don't
their
know
payment.
what they can and can't do.
I'm just going with what they got wrote
Is,
down.
Well, the
I
bank
do
won't
want
do
to
it,
say
they just
this.
won't do it,
I tell you guys, there's some good people right up here on this.
yeah. Absolutely, I don't doubt that.
Every one of us is passionate about Hackleburg. Most every one of us is born and raised here, and their daddies was, and their granddaddies was. So if y'all come up here, you're gonna come amongst some good people.
Absolutely.
I promise you. I guarantee you that. We all want a grocery store. We do, because we need one. But now, how can we arrive at getting in the grocery store? and
And
everybody
it's like
feel good
this,
about it?
everybody sitting in here is wanting it. Let's
Well,
say, for
everybody
instance,
does.
we go borrow 750, turn it over to y'all 2 years, and we don't even run again. I mean, 2020 may not know what's wrong with mine, might get back in here. 2 years down the road, y'all leave, the town's sitting here with $800,000 debt, that building, that property in there, and that's all we're gonna be remembered for. Boy, we made a good decision, cause ain't none of them that's wanting it gonna back us if it goes on.
Or we can let it close and they're gonna hold it against you for letting it close.
Well,
Which is
If
bigger risk.
If you make a good deal where we're both
I mean, we
win-win,
want you.
Kevin
for it. I
said
mean,
this
I
2 or
don't
3
know why.
times. It's gotta be a win-win. Right now, we've got all the skin.
I don't see that we got all the skin. They've got a,
You don't see the building for $700,000 off skin.
Can I say something?
not yet.
What did you make up back? And I'll explain to them why that is.
You know, one thing, we don't wanna handcuff them when they come in where they're just like Wally was. Because if their hands are tied from the beginning, they're not gonna make it. It's just a
I
fact.
really want no part of it though. When they get it on, them take it wrong,
I
they'll
hope
be
they
there
make
100%.
all kinds of money. I mean, as long as they're making money, they're gonna stay here.
I don't want their business, cause I don't know the grocery business. I only run up front.
I wouldn't think we would deal with anybody that knows it any more than they do. I mean, I honestly don't see how we could. They deal in rural Alabama, small towns. They've grown every store they've bought. And I don't see how we can do any better.
Well,
But
you know, after the tornado, we lost a grocery store and we did without one for a long time. And we recruited, we tried to find somebody that wanted to be interested in putting a grocery store back. And we couldn't. I mean, we just couldn't find anybody that was the perfect, you know, that knew the business, that, you know, that could do all the things that we needed. Tom Williams didn't want to come back, you know, I mean, that was our main option, I thought, at the time. So now, you know, Wally comes and, you know, offers up his self in this situation, and he sees that it may have not been his, you know, that not been his strong point in business, that maybe he, you know, he underestimated it, or there's other things that could be done. And I feel like by landing somebody that, like y'all, that has the experience to run something like this, that it could work. I mean, I believe that there's lots of opportunity out there for this store to work. And, my thing was, looking over all the paperwork, if we went to the bank and there was a note for $650,000 in a monthly payment, and say something happened where you couldn't be here, how would we take care of that? But by seeing in the contract that that store and everything comes back to us, that's all, we could sell it, do whatever we gotta do to get that money back, recoup that money back. I feel more comfortable with that situation like that.
Explain to me how if you
Yeah,
sell
who's
it, you
gonna
can
buy
sell
it? I mean,
it. Who's gonna buy it?
If all it's gonna go in
You
there
just
is
said you
grocery-
could sell it. That's what we're
All it's gonna
talking about.
go in there is grocery.
That's
store.
right. It ain't, that don't,
It could be turned into a lot of different things,
So
actually.
Well, we could probably do that right now.
So why wait on it to go out and then try to bring another one in?
Let me just ask y'all this, some of y'all previous purchases did y'all have any initial investment in the store itself, or did, I mean, I'm not trying to be smart, say it's like Councilman Barnwell said over here, you know, because we're looking, and I understand you're talking about your labor, and bringing 100,000 to the table, but as she said, 2.5 or 8, whatever in the building, and then 700,000, you're looking at nearly $4 million investment the town's sticking out for.
Well, if you're asking if I've ever been offered a deal like this, no, we haven't.
And that's what I'm saying, you know,
But, look, it's all about the cash flow.
yeah, I
I mean,
understand
it's,
that.
that's
But
it.
did other
And that has nothing
businesses,
to do with, you know.
did other businesses, when y'all bought, would they cash flow right up front when y'all bought them, or did y'all?
Well,
have
the
to be
very
extra?
first store we bought, you know, I put my house up,
Right.
that's how I got it. But I guarantee you, I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't been willing to work. I wouldn't have put my home up.
Right.
I can tell you that. Cause you lose your house, you lose
I mean, just like he said, we're not doubting you in the least, but we feel like we're taking all the risk, or I do. But, I mean,
Well, I mean, you're not, but, you know, we don't feel like you are, but,
I mean,
you
for
know,
us, the
because, you know-
property and the loan.
Right.
But I understand, y'all making a commitment to pay the loan back like they said.
Well, you know, the thing about it is, it'd be foolish for me, or Chris, or, you know, my brothers, to agree on anything that won't work, okay? We're just not willing to do it. Yeah, and I don't know any other way to put it, we just can't do it. You know, if it doesn't work, we'll be in the same shape that Wally's in, and we're just not willing to do it, you know?
Well, there's a reason the state built this building, because they knew nobody could come in from the ground up and make a deal work, where they
It won't
built the
work.
building, put the inventory in, stocked it, it would never work, ever.
Mhm.
So there's a reason they built that building, and they don't want it to go black, I promise you,
Yeah.
because that's 2.8 million they feel like they wasted.
So if we go into debt for 800,000, have another
It's
disaster.
650,000, it's not 800.
Ain't no interest or nothing on it, that's interest free loan.
They're paying it. But the loan is
Yes, they might.
650,
It's 4%. That's what it says.
but the loan is 650. I mean, we can say $1.2 million,
Mhm.
but the loan's 650. That's what
Plus
we're gonna borrow.
4% interest.
Yeah,
For 20 years.
Personal loans belong to, there's other stuff.
There's a reason Hamilton is growing and we're not. You gotta spend money to get businesses in, or plants, or anything else. Am I not right, Tom?
That is correct.
Well, you know, you gotta have the, you know, look, and honestly, you know, you gotta have the town backing you too. If the town don't want us up here, I don't wanna be up here, man, I really don't. We need the town to want us up here, and we want the town to, you know, trade with us, you know, be glad we're here and support us. Cause we can't make it without you. We need every one of you shopping with us.
That's right.
You know, and then there, what we're gonna do, we're gonna invest in schools, we're gonna support your kids when they play ball, we're gonna do a lot of things like that, you know. We're gonna buy the football signs and the basketball signs and put our name on the back of the t-shirt, we know all the things we can do, if we're profitable. If you know, we can become part of the community, you know. Not only that, you invest in the town yourself, and also you employ a lot of people. You try to work as many people as you possibly can, you know.
If I understand correct, if we were to work out a deal, Chris, you would move to Hackleburg and run the store, is that
That's right, and that's my plan, to relocate in time, yeah. You know, I built a lot, you know, I have a wife and 3 kids, and of course, that might not be right off, I'd be driving for a while, but yeah, that's my initial, that was my plan, eventually, yes. Which, by the way, would be, you know, I know you said I ain't got no skin in the game, that'd be pretty good skin for me to relocate, I'm just saying. Where I'm at, where my kids and where we all been settled in for years.
But what is y'all's business model to think y'all can turn this around? That's, I mean, because of volume buying, or,
Well,
I mean, that's, they'll say y'all sitting there telling me Wally's failed, and I'm
I'm
glad.
not saying Wally failed.
Yeah,
I've never said that.
We're cautious about
Wally,
that.
his payments are too much. He's got way too much money involved in this thing. It's just, you know, he just does, you know. He's not failed. He's got a good guy back there to run the store. That guy
Well, I
does a
know
great
that,
job.
but, I mean,
Yeah.
he's got more going out than he's got coming in. So how y'all plan on turning that around? That's what I'm looking
Well,
at.
you gotta manage yourself into a profit, and by that is
Yeah,
taking
but-
option
Well, your
three.
overhead's got to be.
Yeah, but how are you gonna do that in the store wise? Where are you gonna change in the store? If y'all,
Well, there's only one thing that we can control. If we get everything else right, we control payroll. That's it.
Right.
That's why you gotta get your payments right. Your light bill, you can't control your light bill, you can't control your maintenance, all those, the only thing I can ever control, we can watch our buying, try to buy right, and manage our payroll, that's it.
because I know that's one of the things that killed him, because a lot of stuff, and I understand, you know, like he's talking about, just like auction business, when you pay for the load, you can take a loss, but, you know, some stuff he sold for $5, you get it somewhere else, 2 for 3, but.
Well, you know, it's all about buying your seasonal, I'm going to your food shows. I'm going to one tomorrow, I'll be at one tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday for the fall items, you know. And so we buy in bulk. And,
Ahead of time.
yeah, buy it and schedule out,
You schedule out, you start preparing.
you
for the
probably done it many
holidays.
times, right? Yeah,
You prepare for your,
right, all the time, didn't you?
Now we buy pallets.
And I understand, he is, yes, he's been in the, probably one of the best in the state of.
Yeah, that's what I said, the store looks good, they,
Yeah, that's what I said, I'm
You know-
cautious about,
There's no doubt in my mind you couldn't get a better staff, I'll put it like that.
well, you know, you could, usually, if you pay your bills and you work, you can borrow more money than you ever pay back, okay?
Right.
That's just the way, you can borrow more money than you pay back. But the smart thing is not borrow more money than you pay back. And that's just, it's just what it just all comes down to that number. It's a numbers thing.
Who's done the inventory in the building and determine what the value of that building is in inventory wise?
Carol,
I don't think anybody has lately.
Then how would you know what it's worth in your?
we're gonna have to have that.
It has to be inventory.
I mean, then if, let's hypothetical, let's say that you inventory the value that's only worth $400,000. Why are we borrowing $650?
What are you talking about, value of what?
The material inside of it.
You talking about the equipment?
Yes.
Equipment.
Well, that equipment right now would be probably worth more than that if you
I'm just
actually
using
went.
that hypothetically, I don't know
Yeah,
what.
but
we don't
if he
know what-
closes, it's worth like $10 a case. That's the
But-
difference.
Yeah,
And he'll tell you.
That's than what he owns on the equipment.
What's he
yeah,
want?
but I'm just saying what would be the value of it, is if they done came in and,
I can't tell you that.
that's where you gotta find out what the value is.
Pennies on the
It's
dollar.
like around $10,000 on a gas leak. You know, so you got
What's this
somebody
right here
down
now?
there, so they got skin
That's
in
what
the
he
game.
set up with this. That 1.4, that's what he borrowed.
Well, this is big, this is big. He's only showing.
That's only the SBA part.
So he's got 2 months.
Well,
What's the SBA?
they just, he got part of the loan through SBA. That's probably the same.
Because that's only 1%. And in the other ones, we more than that.
That's all he can borrow.
we haven't. I mean, I don't mean to be, I'm not being arrogant with this, but the Lord's blessed us. God's been good to us, and He's blessed us with everything we've ever done.
He
We
can
made,
give back now, maybe we will.
He does, that's exactly right. We, listen, we didn't get in the, we grew up, we had a good raise. Growed up in the house, my dad passed.
Now, we understand here, because there is no guarantee, no good life here.
But we, we're gonna do our best to do right, treat people right, and that's what we're trying to say. We're gonna do our best. That's how we do it. It's just how it is.
I don't think anybody's doubting any of that. We don't think it's their concern is about the school. I'll tell you, that's my main thing.
All right. We appreciate y'all answering some pretty tough questions and coming up and
Oh, yeah,
your interest.
we enjoyed most of it.
Yeah, that's normally how I do.
You said that that's the only option for us.
Well, that's the only option for any, look, I hope you leave here tonight, start doing your homework and just call hospital. I mean, I hope you do your homework, because all the stuff I've done, I've done mine, and I'm telling you, it won't work any other way. It just won't. And, I don't even know the way to say it. I don't know any other way to say it. I'm being honest, And don't take my word for it, please don't. Talk to anybody you have confidence in, anybody that you know that's in the grocery business, call all over the country, and just give them the numbers. I mean, there's people that way smarter than we are about it, and there's people that do this every day, surveys and their numbers people, and they'll tell you. They can look at that and tell you real fast,
All right. Well, we appreciate it. And normally on item number 3, we usually don't do this if an individual don't get on the agenda, but we are going to take questions, and I'll let Tony
I want to talk
tell how
to
we're going to go about
them.
this.
I know most, if not all of you, and I know y'all very respectful people.
normally in a body politic, and I know many of you have served on those, you abide by Robert's Rules of Orders, which doesn't allow the public coming in and asking when the council is in session, asking questions. But I feel that this is such an important issue for Hackleburg. And I know these people are here for a good reason, they're good people, and I've done my homework on them for the last 2 weeks, and I think they know what they're doing, they know what they're saying, and I respect them. They've come here to educate us. And I'm going to allow a very limited question session from the audience, if you will promise me you won't get out of control. Now we're going to, and I'm kidding to a lot of you, and I went to school with you, and I know that y'all are very good people and have gone to church with you. And if I allow this, don't get me fired. Because I'm telling you, lawyers are a dime a dozen, and I need so please don't get me fired. But I feel that this is such an important issue for Hackleburg, I'm going to allow it. And I would appreciate all of you promise me you will not do that, because we're here to get educated. And if you'll do that, I am going to allow it. Thank you.
Tony, that's a good point. We don't want any finger pointing, anything like that. If you have a question, we'll try to answer it. Philip and Chris will try to answer it, Tony, whoever.
My
Dennis?
question is, if the deal goes through, how quick can it go?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
We're ready to roll.
That's what we need. We need somebody to get it now.
Well, on our end, of course, there'd have to be appraisals and, you know, everything that would go into a normal loan.
Right.
So,
I understand that.
And we hope you want to work.
The town hadn't got any money invested in that out there right now.
not besides taxpayer dollars.
I know that's a risk. I've been on where y'all sitting before, and we built a gym for $400,000, and no income coming back. So I don't see what the problem is allowing these guys to put in a business in a small town of Hackleburg.
I agree with that, Doc. I mean, there was no return on that.
They don't return on the gym. It was $407,000, and I was sitting right where y'all was.
And we managed to pay it off.
And we got in trouble. You have to take risks.
When you go get a loan or anything, there's always a risk and a gamble to it. You know, I mean.
Absolutely. If you purchase a home or a car or whatever, I mean, there's risk. And, you know, I don't want the town to feel like we're not taking risk into consideration, because we are. But you've got to figure, is the risk of losing the store more important than doing the loan? And to me, losing the store is a bigger risk.
Well, let's say the store does shut down, you lose an average of, you said just say $60,000 in sales tax.
$63,880.
All right, so you lose that. All right, so now you talk about raising taxes. Well, now you're going to raise taxes anyway, because you're going to have to maintain where your budget's at currently. Is it going to budget with $60,000? And even if other businesses pick up a little bit, let's say the dollar store picks up $20,000, $25,000, you know, a year in taxes, you're still back in the same boat. And now you have, when Wally comes in and liquidates everything in that building, nothing's ever coming in that store, ever. Because if you got to fork out $800,000 in equipment, then you still got to buy whatever you sell it for, $600,000. Now you're at $1.4 million, like these gentlemen said, never going to cash flow. What Wally ran into, it's never going to happen. So, from just a citizen standpoint, you've got to look at it. You talk about growth, all right. Whenever I'm moving into a town, if I'm a young couple, or you know, we've got a $23 million school, one of the nicest around, all right. We've got the capability of getting people into our town, but am I going to move to Hackleburg where there's no grocery store? Or am I gonna move to Hamilton or Hackleburg or Winfield, where they've got a good school system, and now they have somewhere I can get my stuff? I'm not gonna move my family somewhere where there's not opportunity. And when you look at kids graduating school, there's a lot of trades around here. There's not any big business in Hackleburg to make a lot of money, you know, like kids think they should make right when they get out of school. But you've got Wrangler, you know, you've got other options right here. You've got a lot of trade around here. But kids that are from here and want to stay here, they'll drive to Hamilton, they'll drive to Russell, they'll drive wherever there's a job to stay here because it's safe. It's a great town to raise a family. I mean, that's what you want. You want a great town to raise a family. And Hackleburg, in my opinion, is a great town to raise a family. But you've got to give them something to stay here. You know, there's got to be an incentive for us to stay.
You're right.
And whenever you start closing stuff, turning the lights off, as you say, that's just letting people know we're closed for business. And then you lose those people, you know, and like I said, we lost a lot in the tornado as far as shoppers, you know, because they went somewhere else and got comfortable. Creature of habit, like you said. They went somewhere else, they got comfortable, and we've lost them. We've got to figure out a way to get them back, and I think some of them will come back. But if you close it now the next person that comes in, they're handcuffed even more than Wally was, even more than these guys will be. It's a no-win if we don't keep it open. There's no way to win. That's my 2 cents.
And really, you're talking about quality of life, because, you know, what do you have to offer your people? We got a good school, like you said, we have Wrangler, Clayton, other businesses that are good. But after the tornado, I know Paul, I see him in here, he knows how hard we had to work. Jerry, I don't know if anybody else is in here, but.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah, I don't know if you was on the council, Ken, but.
Yeah.
Jerry.
I best,
Yeah, I said Jerry. But they know how hard we had to work to get anybody to even talk to us. And Wally was the only one that stepped up. Had he not stepped up when he did, we wouldn't be talking about trying to even sell it today, it wouldn't be here. So nobody's getting in line to come. You know,
Guys, I've been here.
these guys, if we were gonna sell it to anybody, I don't see how we could find a better group to entrust it to.
Well, I've been here through the tough times, y'all have too, but I mean, I worked here for the city during this time. We went to 32-hour work weeks because we didn't have a tax base, because we didn't have a grocery store. People were going out of town. Dollar General came in and it helped a lot, but it still didn't provide us with the opportunity to have a grocery store. We were able to get necessities. We were able to get cereal. We were able to get some milk. We didn't have a grocery store. A grocery store where we could go buy stuff. Now, I think you were asked a question earlier, and it said, how are you gonna make things better? How are you gonna make it Wally could make it? Because if you're stretching out that 20-year loan, your overhead's cut down. So what's cash flowing now, what's coming in there right now, if you don't pick nobody else up, you could still make it right now.
Yes,
Am I wrong? I don't want to put words into your mouth.
Exactly right, that's why we set it
Right,
up.
because if it does just what it's doing today, you could make that. In turn, if it makes just off what it's doing today, you're gonna keep the services that you have as a town. You're gonna be able to keep 24-hour police protection. You're gonna be able to keep people on the street departments. You're gonna be able to put lights on your ball fields for your kids. If we lose that, we're gonna lose tax base, and y'all have not been here. I mean, y'all have been here, but you hadn't worked for this town when we lost 40-hour a week. When I almost lost my home and my cars because I wasn't even getting a 40-hour paycheck. That is not right. We've got to do what we've got to do for our citizens, and that's provide them with a service. Now, again, just like he said, there's a risk inherited in anything you do. And if the risk is either providing something for my citizens or killing the town for my citizens, I'm going to take the risk of providing for my citizens, and they've taken the brunt on myself because I've been there. And I know y'all, every one of y'all, I said this the day that y'all were elected. I said this could be the best council that's ever been here in town. I said that when y'all swore in that night. So I trust that you've got education. I do that. I believe that. And I know that y'all know that this has to stay open, and I know y'all are saying, well, we can't, what about this payment? What about this payment? The money's gonna be there. Y'all are in good financial shape. Y'all got a budget. You started a budget for this town. Y'all know our finances. And we can make that. And if he's telling you this store's gonna cash flow with the people that's already coming, and they know they can grow it, but if it's cash flow with what they've already got, you're gonna keep that tax base there, and they're not gonna leave, so you ain't gotta worry about that payment. But even if that payment comes out, y'all know what your financial situation is, and that y'all can probably handle it. And again, you know, I said that because I've been there, and I know y'all, and I know y'all know what's going on with the town. They know what they're doing with that. You know what you're doing with the town. Make the agreement to help the people.
I've got two questions. I know we're doing a group session, but one of the questions to y'all, if we give y'all the building, get the loan, who's gonna be responsible for the maintenance and depreciation of the building, the town?
They will have to maintain the building and do the upkeep. I mean, we will have to have that in contracts, if y'all will maintain it.
None of that's
Because you're
written up
purchasing
yet.
it.
Yeah, it's all gonna be written up.
And I mean, honestly, cause like I said, you work for time, I mean, you know, Wally, I mean, he's successful. The grocery business wasn't his thing, but being that he couldn't make it in it, do you think by stretching that over 20 years, you're saying you think they can make it?
They done said they could, and I mean, that's just like your home loan. If you have a $40,000 home that you go buy and you get it for 10 years and your payment's $1,000 or $1,700 a month. But if you stretch it out to 30 years and your payment's $400 a month.
Yeah, you're gonna pay more interest, but still.
You can make it.
And I wanna add something to the question you just asked about why would they be able to make it and Wally not. So Wally, in my opinion, did a Hackleburg a favor by
I'm
opening
glad
up the
he
store,
did.
you know, and everybody here's
Yeah.
thankful. Everybody's here is thankful for him.
Yeah,
And
makes
nobody
no sense,
here,
yeah.
nobody here should think any less of Wally if he closes doors, because, you know, if you can't make it, you can't make it.
Right.
Alright, but with these guys, with Wally, he's in Nashville. He comes up here on Fridays, most every Friday, not every Friday, but he does come up here. So he's not here with it every day.
Right.
That's just, if you open a business and you say, and this is no disrespect to any employee because they do a great job. But if you open a business and you just hand the keys to somebody else and say, you take off and run it, I'll come check on you Friday. You know, you can't make that work. A business owner no business owner is gonna do that typically. He just did it because he wanted to do Hackleburg a solid. He wanted to do us a favor, he wanted to help us out, and he thought it would work. You know, I mean, he did. But obviously it didn't. If he lived here in Hackleburg and he was there every day overseeing it, I think it would have worked. And then he could have restructured some stuff, did whatever. But with these gentlemen gonna be here every day looking after it, that's their baby, okay? That wasn't Wally's baby. He's got all kinds of other stuff. That wasn't his baby. This is their baby. This is what they do. This is their livelihood. So they're gonna do everything in their power to make it work. And they're gonna be there every day counting they're gonna know exactly how much is on the shelf at all times. The owners. The employees know that. But if the owner doesn't know what's going on every day, it's tough to make it work. And so,
Well, I do say that, and Dennis, you correct me if you're kind of handcuffed in a lot of ways, right? For volume buying, price and those things, right? And in fairness to them, you know.
right, oh yeah.
Yeah, they were
That's what
handcuffed,
I'm
you know.
saying. We've
Not,
got great
and this
employees.
is not no reflection on Wally. We made it one time. He's a really nice guy, great guy, you know. But I'm just saying, you know, when you,
But you're exactly
right,
right.
he handcuffed him in the situation.
You have
As far as
the buying power. You have
buying
the buying
power,
power.
pallet deals, you know, just staple items that guarantee, he can tell you every one of them and where they need to be. He can probably tell you every one.
Well,
But he didn't have the liberty to do it. Am I right?
And you know, a lot of these guys and ladies that work there, I mean, they've been Piggly Wiggly, came back when the new store opened. So we've got a great group of employees that know the grocery business. You know, they're great. And you know, that's the other people we can't forget. When you close the door, what are they gonna do? You know, I mean,
That's actually a question I had. The 30 employees this store over here has. I raised my kids here. My son graduated from this school. That's how they're raising their family. are those employees gonna be replaced with your family, or they become part of your family?
He's on one time. And he's on, and I hope he stays.
And Eugene, I had answered one of your
Somebody's
questions
leaving.
last Monday. Save-A-Lot has to be approved by an area licensed development representative, and it costs $860,000 initial investment up front. That's not counting the equipment nor who's gonna buy it. So,
Who's that?
Save-A-Lot. You asked about another store possibly, you said Save-A-Lot. It's gonna cost,
If you get one on the doors over there.
no. Well, no, that's not hypothetical. That's from their corporate
I was
office.
just saying hypothetical,
Oh.
throwing some,
So, I initially thought this would be a bad deal for our town. I even said it on Facebook. I'm wrong. I'm wrong, because Save-A-Lot's not sitting there. Gore's is not sitting there,
not saying more.
right there.
Well, and
And y'all had a whole week to invite everybody, and look who's here. So I was wrong in my statement on Facebook. I think if these guys are willing to make this work and the agreement is a win-win, I think we should go for it.
We have not.
I have.
One thing that I'd like to add too, that,
Need a businessman.
you're talking about Wally's investment, initial investment. I think his initial investment was based on the old numbers too.
Correct.
So, that makes a huge difference. Based on the old numbers, he would've been fine.
he was banking on $92,000 of.
Exactly. So when you do that, but see now, you get somebody else come in, they're gonna base it on these numbers.
Right.
What's actual real numbers in. But you know, you think about it, say you buy a house, okay? And say you wanna, you know, your goal is to pay it off early, okay? We all know what, we all love to pay our house off early. Say you buy a house and you finance it for 30 years, okay? And then you look at financing it for 15 years, okay? You go, okay, so the 15-year payment is X dollars, and your 30-year payment is X dollars, okay? So we're gonna finance it for 30, okay? But we're gonna do our best to pay it. We're gonna make the 15-year payment. You see what I'm saying? If you get in here and you're profitable, you can do it. So, of course, we'll go over all that, hopefully, if this works out, where that's an option. So you take your house payment, and you look how much interest you knock off and how much money you save. You got it financed it for 30, but you're actually paying a 15-year payment. You pay your 30-year payment, and then you tack on the principal what would be your 15-year payment. That's how you knock one out early if you can. But there again, it's all about the numbers. You got to have the business to do it. So that's always a goal, you know.
You're talking about people, you know, taking a chance. All these chicken growers we got around here, they took a bigger chance for $625,000. And they still are going.
We took a chance on getting Tony up here.
Sure did.
Still under debate.
I'm just kidding.
Tony does a good job.
Well, my question is, what's gonna happen, say you close this store the 15th day, all right? You've got these people that are going to Hamilton, Haleville, Russell, they're having to buy groceries somewhere else. They ain't gonna support that dollar store when you've got Walmart and you got dollar stores everywhere and you got gas places cheaper. So what's gonna happen to your town now if you don't have a grocery store? Cause this has been said to someone that, you know, if I'm having to go out of town, I'm gonna be using everything they got in their town, I won't be using nothing in Hackleburg. So what are you gonna do then?
Well, I'm looking back over the history of what they have done, it really wasn't any different before the market and after the market was built. So they're not gonna pick up a whole lot of grocery business at the Dollar General. I mean, I think everybody enjoys shopping there, and you go
I
get
don't
what
think
you
they
need.
go out of business either.
No, I don't think they'd go out of business, but I don't think they would pick up a lot either.
I ran the numbers on that, so I can answer that. I ran the numbers when the Dollar General came in after the tornado, and compared to now, it only increased their tax revenue by $5,000. So that's all it's increased over the 5-year period. So they did not, assuming that some of the people came back, because they were buying at the other places. I mean, they were.
Right.
But the problem that I see that Wally had is prices were too high. You lost those people going to Walmart. You lost them going to Gore's. You lost them going to Piggly Wiggly over there in Phil County. Because after the tornado, I went Piggly Wiggly, didn't have one, because he was cheaper. Tom Williams owned it. We were still loyal to him, because he owned one here.
And we thought he was coming back.
And we thought he was coming back.
Comes right back to what he said to start with, he can buy in bulk.
But what will be the name of the store?
Well, I reserve, we reserve, the Hackleburg Market LLC right now on the Attorney General's, website, just, so we really hadn't got that far yet. It would be something that, we thought it would be like Hackleburg Grocery, but it was not available for some reason, so. Probably stay pretty much the same, maybe add our name to it, I don't know.
Because you can't put Piggly Wiggly stuff here.
We can,
You
and
can't
I
on
haven't
the
even.
other side though, right? You can carry their product.
Oh, yeah,
You
we
just
can,
can't
we
put
can,
the
we can
label
buy
on
the
it.
product and bring it in. If you got, say you got a customer saying, I like Piggly Wiggly, whatever, yeah, it's not a problem to do that. But we haven't even opened that dialogue with Piggly Wiggly, and number one is, we have Piggly Wigglies in Walker County, we have, Dora in Cordova, we have one in Fayette County. And if anybody would want to come into Fayette County or Walker County, they're not gonna let them, okay? That's our base, and we respect that, but number one now, and that's something I told the mayor, it's more important that what's inside your store than what's on the outside anyway. You can run a good grocery, it ain't gotta be Piggly Wiggly, We love Piggly Wiggly, don't get me wrong, we love them. We got 3 of them, so we love them, But we have an AG store too, and AG store is good too, But if you put them all in a bag and shook them up and poured them out, they'd be the same. The warehouses are about the same. They're not a whole lot different. We buy really good quality meat. Both warehouses handle really good quality meat. It's really the same.
If you buy it, would you still have the cafe?
Yes, ma'am, as of right now, yeah, we don't want to change anything because it's part of the revenue that's coming in. It's based on our numbers. It needs to stay the same, yes, ma'am. We don't know anything about it, but, we eat it. I eat a lot of them. But, yeah, I'm sure the people over there know exactly what they're doing, so. We've heard a lot of good.
Say something. Kathy was talking about being loyal to the Piggly Wiggly person. Well, that's what we're asking for y'all to do, is be loyal to your town of Hackleburg. Us elderly people like me that don't want to drive 40 miles to go to Walmart. What's wrong with giving these people a chance? Are they the only ones that has offered to do this? Or is there some more people out there?
They're the only reasonable
Okay.
offer that.
That's why I can't understand, and we speak up to y'all and we show y'all respect. And we expect, to y'all to show us respect in turn when we have something to say. It may not be what you wanted somebody to say, but I expect you to show them respect because we're all up here for the same reason. We all have to eat. That's one thing we have in common, is food. Every one of us in here has to eat. We need a place to go and buy groceries. What's wrong with that? What's the big deal about that? There shouldn't be a big deal about it.
And it's extremely hard for a small town to have a grocery store. I've had calls from mayors in other small towns and they're like, how did you do it? How could we go about getting one? Because we get shot down every time we
Mayor,
look into it.
what if you were like me and you had to walk everywhere? And if the store closes, then my independence, without depending on somebody, goes with the store, because yourself, Kenny Hallmark can back me up this. Everywhere I go, I walk.
I agree. I understand.
And I've been
That's what
told,
we're trying to-
if we lose these people, we've lost the jewel. They're saying they're better than television. That's pretty good.
I'll pay you after the meeting.
Really, I've been told that by people in New York.
Don, you got one?
I have too, I'm researching. And you bet on people, not anything else.
I've heard some local vendors that take care of y'all here. They're really high on gas.
Daryl, I got a question. If the grocery store does come in and it can't go by Piggly Wiggly names, say they were talking about like Hackleburg Market or Hackleburg Groceries, shouldn't, I mean, this is just something to consider, shouldn't it come under some other name? Because how will we know to get the word out to people that lives in Vina and Hodges and Hamilton and Russell that it's not a Hackleburg Market, but another grocery store? Am I explaining it correctly?
Put it on Huddy, he'll get it out.
We could name it Hoggly Woggly.
But, Laura, I think we can get the word out. But that is good.
Yeah, we were.
They would do their own advertising and, you know,
Because we want, if they come in, we want the people to know that it's the different grocery store, the new grocery store, you know? Okay, thank you.
I think he's got an answer for it.
We mail out advertisement in our other stores.
Okay.
Most of them, we don't, all of them. You still mail that, yeah. Yeah, we mail out.
They've got an advertising campaign.
And we do Facebook.
We do Facebook.
We post that on Facebook every week.
And also.
You can look at our ads, you know, even now we got them up on our ads now.
You can look up,
So-
Door Piggly Wiggly on Facebook.
So it just, one other thing I just thought of, if the store closes, all right, if the store closes and we lose that tax revenue, the only option is to, or one option is really to raise the tax, right, to offset some that you lose, all right? If it were to close down, we give them the deal and it were to close down, okay? Where they couldn't make it either, it closes down.
You know, appreciate it.
So now we gotta raise taxes
Well,
again,
some of the
most likely.
workers up here, is the grocery store still open?
So if we raised the taxes, and nobody wants to raise taxes, but we do have the cheapest tax around. Alright, but if we raise tax 1%, how much would that generate for the city a year? If we raised it 1%?
with the store.
With the
operating
store off the table, the store closed down, we raised tax 1%, how much are we still gonna have in?
With the store operating.
Without the store, about 50,000.
That's how much extra it would?
1% would add.
Okay, that makes your
Or
payment.
1 cent.
That's $48,000.
No.
The payment's $48,000 a year at $4,000 a month. You raise tax 1%. I believe everybody in here would be willing to raise the tax 1% on the chance that the store doesn't make it. Nobody's gonna feel a 1%, and if they're driving to Hamilton anyway.
1 cent.
1 cent.
Instead of 1%, 1 cent.
Yeah, 1 cent. So if they're driving to Hamilton anyway, paying a higher tax there, they would pay a higher tax here to take the risk for these guys to make it. Because either way, you have to do something to increase revenue, one way or the other. If the store closes, you gotta figure out a way to make revenue. If they open it and 3-4 years down the road, hey, we can't make it, you're gonna have to do something to offset that revenue too. Easiest way to do it's a tax. I know nobody wants to be taxed, but you use the tax to offset your loss, or figure it in your budget. Hey, the town's making $65,000 a year, just say, I know that's not the exact number on the sales tax. Put back $10,000-$15,000 a year in the bank. If they stay here for 5 years, now you've got, $75,000 in the bank that, and I don't know if they would be willing to do this, but put it in there, hey, you guys gotta give us 120, 180 days notice before you shut down, or we can start recruiting where we're not back in the same spot.
Yeah, I think they would probably agree to something in that.
I mean, I know you can't give a year notice, but, if stuff's going south, you're gonna know it sooner rather than later, and you can give a notice, hey, we're not making it too well, you might wanna start recruiting.
If we have the support of this city, it won't go south.
Well, that's what I said.
There's no way. It just won't.
You can't make promises on anything, but I'll make you this promise. We'll do our darndest to make it the best it's ever been.
Well, and that's, that's what that's what the
that's,
town needs, is
yeah.
people, Wally's out no matter what, so that's done, so we need people like you that have came in here and shown that you actually do care. Now, you can't do it without it working for you, because I mean, nobody's in business to lose money, you know, but y'all are passionate about it, you know the business, and, you know, I think the citizens of Hackleburg, knowing that y'all came in and stuck your neck out and come in and change some things, of course, but do it your way, you've got an opportunity to have something special, because I know everybody here would support you.
Is everybody in this room agreeable to upping the tax if it goes south?
That's just a portion.
Well, whoever's here.
That's what we gotta answer.
To answer Eugene's question, Tim Gore, I've talked to him, my dad's talked to him, my wife's talked to him. He will not come because he said he can't afford to open another store. He said if it'd been after the tornado and y'all built the building just like y'all did, he said he would have come. But he said now, he said there's no way he can open another store. So that, I've been asking him about that. And another thing that I was thinking about, y'all are saying that it brought in $60,000 a year, I think. Does that include what you get off of occupational tax from the employees? So that's something else you're losing if you lose the store. I mean, I know it's probably not much because, I mean, you only got 30 employees, but still, you're losing that money off of occupational tax too.
And not only that, Randall, you're gonna miss, when they get paid, they turn around and put that money back into the economy. So you're losing that on top of it.
Tommy, I just noticed
$200,000.
the best butcher in this country.
Where's the rest of it come in at, when they rebuild the store?
He ain't said nothing, but he's back there.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a question. If they, let these people come in right here, do they still have to pay Wally the $650,000, or let Wally just tuck his stuff out, and then if they have to provide like the coolers and things like that?
No, we would buy Wally out, and they would do a lease purchase from the town. Wally would be out of the equation.
Town will be financing it.
Do what?
The town will be financing it.
I don't think we ought to pay Wally out.
Well, we would
That's
have
my
to, or
opinion.
he's gonna empty his building, and then we gotta put in all new
We
stuff.
might be able to get better deals on shelving and on coolers and things like that.
You're not, but I understand what you're saying, but you're not gonna get a better deal than $650,000 for everything in that building.
He is already. So you're gonna be closed in a year.
Right, plus you're gonna lose a year of
Could you
revenue
tell us
and
who furnished the
people
money
going out of town
to
to
build
shop.
this store to start with? I know Governor Bentley kicked in $200,000. Who else contributed to it after the tornado?
The mayor can tell you that.
A deck is a disaster.
In other words, Governor Bentley kicked in $200,000 and there was more money kicked in. Where did all the financing came in to start with to build this store?
The state of Alabama paid for the entire store. For the disaster relief funds.
Okay.
So
That's what I don't know.
Kenny, to answer your question, Wally had to sign a contract with the state of Alabama, which is right here, in that contract, and it stated that he would get that building after 15 years. He had to stay in business for 15 years. In this contract with the town of Hackleburg, it states in there that we would have to maintain the building, he would pay us a fee. Well, we're asking them, they would have to maintain the building, that way we don't have to pay the insurance on it. This contract had us paying the insurance on that building.
Ooh.
So you've got, that's some stuff that we would have to negotiate with them that we've not even looked at. So if we have to do other stuff, that value could go up a little bit. We're talking about just buying out Wally, but we're not talking about the maintenance of the building, the insurance on the building, because we still gotta cover our liability on it. So that's where we've gotta hash out that sidebar stuff with them, and we understand it. Everybody in this town wants this. I want this. I mean, y'all think that I'm against your wrong. I want the market here, pick whatever you're gonna call it. It's the financial side that we've gotta hash out.
That makes sense.
That's the reason that contract said he had to pay the insurance on the building, is because we own the building.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct.
That's why we had to pay.
And it's just like now, we're leasing him the building. If we lease him the building, we've got to cover our liability, which means we're gonna have to pay insurance. That insurance comes out of our general budget.
No, we.
Yes,
we
it
might
does. We would have to
pay
go
it.
back and get it
That's
from them.
right.
So that
Unless
money
we
would
put
have
a
to be tacked
stipulation.
onto their payment to incorporate that money. Because that's the only way you can do it.
That's what they're talking about, their skin in the game. They've gotta pay insurance, they gotta pay labor, they gotta pay workman's comp, they gotta pay
They're
utilities.
paying that, they're paying the liability of their equipment and stuff at that time, but we own the building.
Labor's not gonna make sense.
Yes.
Y'all didn't bring nothing to eat.
I wish I
If
had
you
a
rent,
house.
let me ask you this, if you rent a house, y'all get back to house. If I own a rental house and I'm renting it to somebody, who pays the insurance on that rental house?
Depends on what kind of-
The owner, because that's my liability. I own it. So this town of Hackleburg will have to pay for that liability. So if that liability is $2,000 a month for insurance, we will have to tack that on to that payment. I'm just using that
You
hypothetical.
buy a house, you buy a house and you have a mortgage
While
through
he
the
goes
bank.
out, we're not, huh?
If you buy a house and you have a mortgage through the bank, it is up to you to pay your own insurance.
That's
Bank
right.
don't pay it.
That ain't what I said. I said I own a rental house, I'm renting. We own this, we're leasing it, that's the same as renting.
A lease purchase is a
Lease
different.
purchase is different. We're not renting.
But how much is the insurance that they're just town paying right now? Or is Wally paying?
I'd have to go pull it out and pay a lump sum, and I'd just have to do it, itemized.
Think we paid it this time.
We do.
We pay for the
Yeah,
bill.
we've been paying.
Oh.
You could fix it,
Because
they
we
paid
own
it and just put you down as the mortgagor. Get your money out.
I want to add something. I'm sitting here and I'm hearing all of this, and I go back to the gym over here, and it costs how much?
$440,000.
Did we discuss building that gym this much?
I was in high school, but I don't remember.
I was in high, Doc would have to answer that.
I never had a public meeting like this or nothing.
Everybody agreed and built it, okay? But we're talking about a grocery store. When you go in that grocery store, it's all women usually in there, because men don't go to buy groceries. I remember driving to Philly. Wait just a minute. I remember driving to Phil Campbell, and I remember being in the middle of cooking a meal, not many of them, because I don't cook, but cooking a meal and running out of something, and thinking, oh my, that's in Phil Campbell. If we let this close, we're gonna be at that same spot again. Now, when did Hackleburg get big enough that we can say no to things? We've got that mindset, and somehow we've got to get out of that. We've got to pull together, and we've got to grow. We've got to be respectful of each other. We've got to listen to each other, and we've got to work together. Now, the Lord has blessed each one of us, because we're all still here after the tornado, okay? We've been blessed with a school. We all like athletics, or pretty much everybody does. We've got the top facilities for a 1A school, probably in Alabama. These people have came and they've sat here and they've heard all this from everybody. They've been peaceful. They've told us they're going to still call it Hackleburg. That means a lot to me. That's special. He said he's willing to eventually move. Okay? That says a lot. You know, I grew up here. I was born and raised here. It's special. And I'm counting on each one of you to figure out some way to work together to keep that store open.
Amen.
Or don't come after me.
Well, we're willing to do that, and I mean, it's not like we're shutting the door on them, but are you comfortable with us taking all the risk? The thing.
I am.
Barring
You have to
barring
take the risk to make
700,000.
progress. Yes.
And put the building up.
When we built First Baptist Church, we borrowed nearly $1 million. And that was a risk. We knew the Lord would back us, but it was still a risk, and we paid it all.
Yeah, I know that.
And I feel like that the Lord will bless us with this also, if we do as we should do.
And I understand Eugene, Tabby, I understand there's risk and we have to be wary of it. But it's a bigger risk to let it go blank. and we don't have a grocery store, we lose the revenue, the jobs, and the quality of life. And
How much is your property gonna go down to, your property? I mean, if you were to wanna sell your place, well, what kind of grocery store do you have there? And your property value's gonna go down also, you know.
you got a great school, but no, you can't shop. I mean, you can get some items from the dollar store.
Are you talking about on the balance sheet? The thing on balance sheet, asset balance sheet?
That's
We're just talking about
talking
in
about
general.
like a homeowner's property tax.
Appreciation.
Yeah, but that's different, okay.
How big of a revenue loss would the town be taking if this store did go dark?
$60,000.
Huh?
$63,880.
Around now.
It's probably actually more than that. By the time other businesses trickle effect.
That was 1 year.
The thing is, Kenny, we can't live that.
$60,000.
Yes, sir.
Would they be offered the same contract that Wally was, that after 15 years, you know, that the building would be
20.
theirs?
20 years.
Or 20 years,
They would
okay.
be, we would give them a deed.
Okay, yeah.
Cody made a real good point. If we don't get them and we ain't got a store, people starts moving out and they go other places to buy groceries, first thing you know, we're a Hodges.
Well, and he also made a good point too, that we can't be scared to raise taxes. Because we've had this conversation up here for 2 years. People's griping about the roads not being repaired, and the reason the roads are not repaired, and we're trying to get grant money, is we don't have the money. We're flat. Even with the current budget we've got in, last year we took in, I think it was right around $30,000 to the good. And we never had a budget, and that's excellent. But we can't do projects because we're not getting enough revenue. So the scariness of me is here we are taking this big risk. We're taking a risk of losing $60,000 more, plus a payment more. How can I get a roads paved, get new lights on that gym, you know, all this other stuff, get everything updated to LEDs, and that's scary. But y'all got the commitment, you don't scare that if we raise taxes up. I'm glad I heard that from y'all.
I don't think anybody wants
When I heard that, I'm done.
But we,
Nobody wants taxes.
our sales
but-
tax.
Yeah.
But if that's the end result of what happens, I don't think anybody in here would argue with one extra cent.
How much extra?
Because again, if
At Russellville, you're paying 9%.
If you
go
look-
to Florence, you're paying 10%.
Exactly.
And
They
we're-
pay nine,
So-
nine or nine.
So we're still, if we raise tax 1
We
cent,
actually
we're
get
still gonna be less than most everybody.
We still
So that they're
get
gonna have to go to. So you're actually, you're saving money by raising tax 1% and keeping the store, or 1 cent.
You know
You're
what
saving-
the rate is in Iowa? 10%.
And ours will do that, but we can do 1% for school.
Most
And
of them
another
are, and they're talking about even raising them more.
And another thing you gotta look at, with the tax dollars, my wife being a teacher, and there's some teachers in attendance, they, you know, the schools depend a lot on that tax that they get. You know, I mean, I remember Tiffany forking out $300-400 every start of school year on supplies for kids, you know, now they don't have to do that. And it's because of that tax, you know, and you lose that tax, our schools aren't gonna be able to get upgraded and stay up to the times with other schools. You know, it goes back to growth, you know, I mean, you gotta figure out a way to grow it, and it starts in that school over there. If you want your town to grow and succeed, you've gotta get the kids over there believing in Hackleburg. If they don't believe in Hackleburg, they're gone, you know, and then 25 years down the road, whenever you go from 1,200 people to 800 people, like Don said, you're gonna be Hodges. And it's,
Well, another thing you can consider, like you totaled up all the money that the town got, like for the school, the football field, for Bluebell, you know, and for all the recovery costs, that was a lot of money that poured into this town. The septic system we got, and sometimes, I hate to say it, somebody take me with tape, but sometimes you may have to raise a little bit of tax, cause it takes money to do business.
Well, I think thing as far as helping with the stores. I think they talked to the schools and they've committed to buying from the store, or I think buying all their stuff for the athletics from the store. And that'll help instead of having to go to Sam's and stuff to get it.
In talking to Philip, every town they're in, you guys work with the schools.
Everyone, we do everyone.
You know,
And we normally don't make anything on it. We normally just, whatever we buy a horse, what we give it to them for. That's what we do. We don't, you know, if there was any concession item, anything we can get in, we get it in, and where it's invoiced out to us, is what they get it for. So it's cheaper than they can buy, they can drive it when they get it usually. But I'll say this, since I can talk just for a second. Any town, you know, and anywhere you go, in order for that town to grow, other people have to see a need for it. Say, for instance, if I want to put a new business in town, say I've got a niche and I want to put, in order for me to put a new business in this town, I've got to see a need for it. I've got to see that the walls are busting out and the businesses are there, and they're really being successful, you know. And I go, wow, they could use, you know, I think I'll go there because it's a growing town. If you get a town that goes back and it you know, I was told many years ago by a person that was going through a difficult time in my life, many years ago, I was in my 20s, said, if you go back, you stay back. And that's just kind of the truth. You go back to where you're at, that's kind of, as a town, you stay back. So you got to continually grow, and for people to take interest in this town, other people that are financially able to put a business in, they've got to see a need for it. And in order to see a need for it, the ones that are here have got to be successful.
Well, I'm not trying to down another town, but Phil Campbell, look where they went after the tornado. And the town of Hackleburg had to sell some police cars to them to help them out, you know. So, I mean, and those people in Phil Campbell, they're hurting because their town is drying up.
And they didn't lose a grocery store. It never was.
Well, the grocery store is the backbone of this town, if you listen to everybody. That's what everybody's trying to say. That grocery store is the backbone of this town. And, I mean, look how happy everybody was when them doors opened. Don, you were there when that ribbon was cut. And I'm telling you, what needs to be done needs to be done. The deal can be worked out somehow, but it needs to be done.
Don't have to get people in here to shop local.
That's right.
And they don't
Exactly
shop
right.
local.
But
I
they have
mean, we've
to.
been in business for 30 years, and people do not support us half of the time in this town. And
But
a
if
lot
I
of you
ever
know
were-
that, I see it.
I agree. But now if I ever order flowers, ma'am.
I know you do. I said, but I see it.
Right, yeah. Right.
I'm just saying, people do not support
Right.
people in this town. But
I
now I
agree.
can
We
say,
have
I
to get
do go
everybody.
around every
Right.
day, they can, Dennis and them tell you, just about every day I'm in that market, just about every day. I'm in the dollar store, I go out here to the drugstore, I go to Dr. Morrow, I mean, I go to Herman's and get my gas, I go to Pantry Food Mart usually, get a biscuit, I mean, I can just name off. I mean-
And you're right, we have to get
But people
everybody
do
shopping
not
local.
support every morning.
Yeah, I guess the monkey in the room right now, or what, is, are y'all gonna try to make it
Elephant.
a elephant, I like elephants, my better monkeys. But are y'all gonna try to make a decision tonight that y'all are either gonna do it or you're not gonna do it? And
I don't think we'll vote on it tonight, no, but we've had a very good
There's no way you
discussion.
can vote on it tonight.
No, what I'm saying is if you're gonna vote on it, you're not gonna vote on it, try to work the arrangements out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we've had great discussion.
And I do want to say, I appreciate all y'all turning out.
In other words,
This
Mayor,
month
y'all
will be my
gonna go
third year,
into
this
it with
month's
eyes
been my
wide
second
open.
meeting. Oh, really?
That's right.
And by all y'all being here and giving y'all's input, that makes me feel a little bit better about my decision. Because it's like you said, if we do go with this, borrow $750,000 and fail, you know, if we fail,
Write that down.
I mean, I know y'all still gonna say, well, them folks gonna have better sense, they don't know, and if it makes it, there you go. Don't be showing me that one, please.
I don't think anybody in this room would blame y'all if it closed.
But
Now, I'm not saying
it is not that, you know, it all goes back to the
The living
dollar.
room wouldn't.
It all goes back to the payment, like we was saying.
Go back to Facebook for you.
Stay off Facebook.
We're not gonna vote on this tonight.
Stay off Facebook.
I ain't seen nothing
Well,
like
I think Vernon, tonight was a good informative meeting where people can take this and,
Well, I thought they'd been saying all week they're gonna have them up there to vote tonight.
well, I think we've learned a lot tonight.
Well, I ain't gonna put it off another week.
Well, we have some contract stuff we need to,
Inventory.
You gotta do
Make sure
inventory, you
we're-
gotta do contract, you gotta draw all that
Who's gonna
up.
inventory?
You have to
Yeah,
inventory the
appraisal.
building first.
Who's
You
gonna
know,
do
break
that?
before you
You
borrow
have to
money.
bring in a separate entity to do that.
You gotta do a title
You
opinion
gotta
on
do all
the
that.
building, you gotta have land appraised.
It can't be Wally, it's gotta be an outside person that comes in and inventory.
What he's probably asking
But
is,
that's not.
are y'all
that's
gonna be in
law.
an agreement
You part of that kind of.
to start this? Not vote, say, yeah, we're just gonna hear $650,000 loan. He wants to know, are all y'all gonna be in agreement or not in agreement?
You can't agree to that.
It's gonna
till
be
you
a
see the
negotiation.
contract.
Negotiation.
We're gonna negotiate.
That's what.
No, we're not, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you 100%, yeah, but tomorrow they're gonna be running the store, I can't do that. But it's
you
not,
are
that
in
we
agreement,
don't,
though,
it's not that
to
we don't want
negotiate
it.
and look at it.
The first thing he's gotta have is commencement letter. He's gotta say that he's committed to this before
And then
you
we gotta
even sign
decide what
this.
to do.
Because what if he backs out and here we go get a loan? We
well,
stuck.
and we've talked about a letter
So he's
of
gotta do
intent
that.
to,
So none of this was ever took care of before this meeting?
No.
well, the discussion.
Oh.
Did they think they was gonna get a vote tonight?
Do I now?
Was they expecting?
No, I don't
No,
think they
we
were
wasn't
expecting to get a vote
expecting
tonight.
that.
So all the stuff that y'all had to decide was not took care of before this meeting, that y'all had to decide.
That's correct.
Because we made a word of it 10 days ago.
You could have a closed meeting to discuss all of that,
We've not had a closed meeting.
but you could have.
Well, you have work sessions. We've had one work session.
They made a difference for all of you. They were just trying to go with what the people had to say about
You
it.
was gotten the people's opinion then, before you went into your deciding.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're all in it
I
together,
understand.
every one of us.
That's that money that building paid for, regardless of what everybody says, they're saying it was free and clear, but when the state of Alabama cuts that tax out of your check, that's where that grant money comes from, it's a taxpayer.
Martha, they had done a lot of research. When the mayor came to me, he told me to do some research. He had done a lot of research. In fact, he had become an expert, in a sense, on this, as much an expert as you could get. And I found what he told me to be 100% true. And it certainly influenced the way I would recommend.
Is there
I
any,
appreciate y'all.
There's, you know, in my opinion, I don't care if everybody in here knows it, we've got the best mayor that we've had. I'll just put it out there. He cares about this town, and, I think he does a darn good job. That's just my opinion. I don't care if anybody else agrees with me or not, you know? But I'm sure a lot of people do.
any possibility
You remember
we
that,
could
Dan?
get any
Well, I
additional
understand-
grant
I
money?
understand y'all, I do, I understand y'all. But I'm talking me, my opinion.
Sorry.
And, what I'm saying is a lot of this is, stuff that could have already been discussed.
Tony and Mr.
There's a lot of people here tonight, and I'm not one of them, but I've heard other people speak up that thought the vote was gonna take place tonight.
We just found out that the market was going out of shutting the doors 10 days ago.
I understand that.
Okay? We had not met these two individuals till tonight.
I understand
So
that.
we've not been in communication with them to find out what's going on.
But
So you can't make those
you
decisions.
can't make those decisions, but you also can't lead people to believe that the decision is gonna be made.
Well, I don't know
when all-
who led
I don't
you
know,
to
I
believe
didn't
that.
tell you that.
We talked,
I mean, neither, I ain't
I'm
no
just
part of
talking about
that.
what other people
I don't
say.
have a
I
clue
ain't,
about
I ain't
that.
told you that, my name wasn't in there.
Yeah, that's like.
When we talking about taking the vote, from down maybe, or?
Let me end some of this, I wanna make a motion to go into negotiations with them.
Second.
We've been in negotiations.
We're just going into negotiations, right, Tony?
That's correct.
We have Not as a group, we have not. We've discussed it, and, I think it would be a good idea to go a little deeper.
That should have already been done. That's
Well-
what I'm trying to tell you. That should have already been done.
My house over there.
Well,
Well, they haven't had a meeting.
yeah, we
This was the
we
meeting.
really didn't know for sure, Martha, that Wally was going to absolutely close or sell till about 2
Well,
weeks
the only
ago.
thing I'm saying, Darryl, is I'm 100% behind you, and you know that. But when you bring all the people in, and you haven't even negotiated with the people that you're bringing in to possibly take over the grocery store, then, you know, it really doesn't, we're not getting anywhere, is what I'm
Well,
saying.
You know, Martha, the first and foremost thing, and that's one reason I stepped out of the rules of procedure here, because I felt it was an important thing for this town to express its opinion, and I think we all got the message. And we've been working on this, believe you me, I've never seen anything more work and the considerations, and it's turned out to be what's known as a Hobson's choice. There is no other choice, and you find very few things like that, and we're up against that. And we respect y'all's opinions while we did this, and this is part of a very orderly procedure, and I respect all of you for keeping it that way, and thank you. I think we got the message loud and clear.
Glenn, regardless which way it goes, I think this has been a good meeting.
Absolutely.
So do we know what day Wally is officially shutting doors?
Wally's gonna be as patient as he possibly can be.
So he's
I
gonna
mean,
shut
he don't
doors
want
as long
us
as
to drag our
it's
feet
y'all
and
figure out something.
not do anything. I mean, he wants us to be working
Yeah.
toward,
But he's gonna keep
He'll
open
keep
on
that
it.
open until they take over.
How long are they willing to wait on y'all?
who. I mean, that, I don't know, that's good.
Well, I mean, that's not even, Darryl and I have talked a lot. We've talked daily, well, not daily, but we've talked many times on the phone, you know. And we didn't come up here tonight expecting anything but to meet everybody, meet the council, and to be introduced. We didn't expect anything. This has been in negotiation. We haven't, you know, I mean, it's all been verbal, just trying to figure out the numbers, and, you know, it's just been I mean, nothing moves fast. It can't be. It can't move that fast, but, you know, the main thing that I talked to Darryl about, and I'm sure he's expressed to the council and attorney here, the main thing that we want, and we feel like we really gotta have, is whatever how long it takes, is it remains open and remains serviceable to the people here at a high level, at just the level it is, you know. It can't drop off, you know, you don't need to drop inventory, all those things need to maintain. And that's just important for everybody. And so how long it takes, you know, I wouldn't expect them to move fast at all. I mean, they need to do their homework and do the research, just like we've been doing. You know, I've done a lot of mine, you know. And so we don't expect it to move fast. I wouldn't want it on my end to go fast. I want to know everything I need to know about it, you know. And we have done a lot of homework. And that's what they're doing now, so, you know.
Which it is a little bit time sensitive according to Wally.
Right, yeah, but there again, it needs to maintain, because that's just important for everybody, you know.
Is it there a chance that Hackleburg could get an additional grant to help us along with this?
No, when they put up $2.8 million, they're pretty much saying, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Right now, grants are few and far between. They're hard to get, extremely hard to get.
There's been so many storms and disasters, and, you know, they put up all that money. They don't want the store to go black, I can promise you that.
Darryl, if the grocery store closed, y'all can't come to the agreement with them, and the doors closed on it, that means there ain't nobody coming, if the doors closed. Where's the town gonna be then? And I intend to bring up the insurance on the building. Are you gonna drop the insurance when they move out?
We can't,
I mean, we still got it.
right.
You may have a little more liability insurance cover people, but I mean,
If you're talking hypothetically when it comes to the budget,
yes.
you have to come back in and you'll have to relook, pull your budget. You have to see where you're at, and you'll have to look at the revenue that you've lost, and we'll have to make adjustments.
Right.
The only other choices you got is you say which department is spending this amount, and you may have to reduce it. It could be that you cut back on overtime on the police department. Could be that you can't work Johnny over here on street
Right.
department, and that's
Play
what
with
you
the
have to do,
hand
that's
and they make
budgeted.
it work. And even if it's like it is right now, 64,000, whatever it is a year,
Mhm.
we're good.
Yep.
The town's
Yep.
good. To keep what we got, police force, everything we got.
Yep.
We can make it a budget for that.
Yep.
You make a very good point. You talk about how you gotta manage yourself into a profit. That's exactly what we're trying to explain, that we have, that's what we've done with what we give you. We've done the exact same what you're thinking. And that's the only way, that you could do it and the only way we can do it. It's just, you made a very good point. You gotta do it. You have to take what you're doing and manage yourself into a profit, whatever. Same way your house budget. Say you got 2 people working and one loses his job. You gotta change a few things until you can, get back working again.
Darrell, this is a godly town, and I wish all His grace, all you guys up there behind that counter right there, and you two gentlemen, your family, wish you all the grace of Him to make this work. Just give you God's grace and think about all these people right here just talking to you guys. Because, where who matters.
We were on the way up here, this afternoon talking, hour and 15-minute drive. And Chris and I were talking. He said, we've been praying about this. He said, I've been praying about it. And he said, I hope at this meeting, I've asked the Lord to show me, is this the right deal or not? That's exactly what he said to me. All right? Yeah. Pretty much. What we want out of this meeting tonight is to know that this is the right thing for us. And so the same thing,
You'll get the business, sir. I promise you, you're gonna get the business. Especially if it was like our old Piggly Wiggly, where people come all the way from Florence to shop in it. We had one of the best jumping grocery stores here anywhere in the state. Especially our meat department. It was none better.
Well, I don't need to beat a dead horse, but Paul and Jerry left, but Paul can tell you, there was nobody. And there's gonna be probably nobody if you guys don't, if we can't reach a deal. So,
Are y'all gonna decide tonight whether to get these people to come in and see what the contents is worth and all that? I mean, y'all gonna at least decide on that and get this started?
we'll eventually have to inventory and keep.
Sure, but I mean, when? I mean, I know you got legal, but the biggest thing right now to me is what's in their worth, what the town's gonna have to borrow. To me, that's number one.
That will
Then
be
you
part
worry
of
about the
my
legal stuff. Is
motion.
that not right?
Well, I asked that
part of
question,
my motion.
I asked that question at the beginning of this meeting. What is the value in there
I wasn't
versus?
here, that's why.
Yeah, we asked that question, what's the value?
Right.
If the value only ends up being $500,000, but Wally wants 650, we're gonna have to borrow 650.
Yeah.
Even
But you
that
gotta
means
get to
we're
that
taking a
point
loss.
first. You gotta say what it's.
I mean, bottom line.
To negotiate.
Well, Don said that was part of his motion he made.
That's part of the negotiation, that you gotta get all of
Yeah,
that
but
took care
to
of.
get what it's worth is nothing to them right now.
No, but it's part of our
content.
negotiation, so that's part of the motion. I've already went to Hamilton and got some people lined up and gave him the phone number of people to do the inventory now.
Okay, that's what I was talking about, because everything kinda hinges off that, don't it? I mean, that's the amount of money the town's gonna have to borrow.
Yeah.
So everything kinda, then you can work the legal stuff out for them.
You talk about, when you say inventory, you talking about appraise the equipment or inventory the equipment?
And
Okay.
the inside,
Yeah, appraise the equipment
Yeah,
and
yeah.
inventory the inventory. I got you.
they'll inventory all the equipment and they'll appraise it, tell
That's right.
what it's worth after it's been reduced down.
And then there'll have to be a lull period where they'll have to shut,
Well,
keep
see,
inventory
but-
going out versus
But see,
inventory.
it doesn't matter if it's been reduced down, because if I went in today and bought that equipment, then I start here and I reduce it. It's new to me.
So it's still the same.
So it's the same. So even though he's depreciated it, it has nothing to do with the value of it. He's just depreciated all he can appreciate.
Well, these people.
And so I go in and I start and I do the same
So
thing.
they'll know
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah.
And Don did make a motion and Darren seconded it, to go into negotiations, so we'll need a vote.
We have a motion and a second to negotiate with the Bozeman family to work out a deal on the grocery store. Is that how you want it worded? So we have.
And that's open negotiations, because it's very vague.
Don made the motion, Darren, you went second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries, and we will try to get more specific and get into detail and get the ball rolling and see what we can do. I'll say again, we appreciate y'all.
And don't leave us.
Talking about the equipment, anytime, you know, you're looking at equipment, if equipment's in the store that's operating, it's worth a lot more money. You know, and if that store closes, that equipment really, you may have a few people that buy pieces here and there, you know, but it's mainly gonna be scrapped. It'll be scrapped. I could buy it to put in my store at $100 a door maybe, would be a good price that I paid them for it when I get moved. But if it's worth it, you know, used, but then if it's not, you're talking about pennies on, it's scrap, whatever the copper and metal is in it. That's all they'll pay for.
We really appreciate everybody coming, everybody's opinion. I know.
Doesn't matter, and that's what I think
Yeah.
personally.
So,
And see what, I mean, just like Martha, you're disgruntled, but we're going on the early third year have been elected. And at every meeting we've held, there's been the biggest meeting we've had as far as input from the citizens has been 4 people at one time. We got to know y'all approve of our decision, but, you know, I ain't gonna.
Eugene, I used to come a lot.
Um,
I didn't have a lot of choice, I had
Right.
to. But let me tell you, I'm not disgruntled. I don't even know what that is, disgruntled.
Not happy.
Big old word.
You're hungry. I'm not a bit disgruntled, because I don't even.
That just
know-
means unhappy because we didn't say, yes, they're gonna be going in business tomorrow.
No, I'm
We
not,
didn't.
I'm not unhappy. I'm just saying that, I'm not the only one that has spoke up here. You have
I'm not directing that toward you, but I'm, it's like,
saying that, they thought it was gonna be a vote tonight. Now, that's what they.
well, I don't know, we can put that.
I can hear everything every one of you say, but I know y'all can't hear everything that everybody is saying out here at the same time. I
That's
understand,
right.
but I'm going by what I have heard out here. And I'm not disgruntled, and I'm not upset, and I'm not mad. You know, I like all y'all. They ain't one of you up there I don't like. But,
What'd you say, Martha?
but you all know how I am. I'm gonna speak up.
Oh,
what
that's
I
fine,
do.
I'm glad you came, I'm glad everybody came.
That's
We
what I
needed to
do.
hear that.
I'm
Yeah, that's-
tickled to death that these people are here.
When you hear the input, even though they just started, y'all, when you hear the input, if we've got to borrow 600,000, that's what you're willing to do, like Cody said. If we raise sales tax from 7 to 9%, now the other 1,000 people that vote may not be like y'all, but they're not a.
Well, if they want to drive, you know, 20 or 30 miles to get a pack of hamburger meat, let them go, you know. But they can pay that 1 cent a lot cheaper.
He's going fast.
He's out.
we appreciate everybody coming and.
Thank you.
Everybody coming.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/49 County News TV.